Awesome. Well, it's 7 on the dot, everyone. I want to respect all of your time. Thank you so much for showing up on time. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day and investing it into your personal development. My name is Krjatian, and tonight we are going into our weekly team training. So first and foremost, Global Convention is happening on October the 21st and 22nd in, I think it's Arizona. And these are the flyers to get your team excited about being registered for the Global Convention. As usual, this is the place to be, whether you're there in person or you're there virtually. Please make sure to download these templates and get your team excited to let them know when you register, when other team members register, because people are social pack animals. When they see that someone else is doing something, they will want to do it too. Next of all, our team status goals. We are tracking really nicely, everyone. You're doing such a great job. Give yourself a clap, a pat on the back. We are nearly there in our customer targets. We're just a little short of reaching halfway, and we are steaming straight ahead with our distributors. Well done, everyone. This is all thanks to your collective efforts. Keep going. One day, one step, one moment, one conversation, one person at a time, and we will definitely hit our targets by the end of the year. So our weekly updates, let's see what's going on for the team for the week ahead. If you are not part of the Telegram chat group, please reach out to your sponsor and make sure that you are part of this group. All team announcements are in this group. We've got a social media channel as well. Nori puts out the most incredible shareables. Make sure that you're part of all the necessary chats so that you have the resources that you need to grow your business and help your community. So what's happening this week? Monday, as per usual, we've got team trainings for Australia, New Zealand, and the Philippines. You're here right now. This is the team training. We do not have a Philippines product presentation tonight. That has been postponed. Tuesday, we've got the Activate My Life podcast in the Facebook group. And there is a Phil Oz Summer live event, not Zoom, live event. I'll show you a poster in the next slide. On Wednesday, we've got the Philippines Leaders Coaching. On Thursday, we do not have the Team Activate Legends. It has been postponed. However, there is the Phil Oz Zoom in the evening and the Philippines product presentation. So make sure you are in the Telegram chat so that you know all of this information and that you can invite accordingly. So this is the event for tomorrow night at the Sunshine Coast. We've got a great lineup of speakers. Madeline, Andrea, Charlotte, and Una are presenting. Ladies, you're going to ace it. You're going to transform so many people's lives. If you know people on the Sunshine Coast, please invite them. Scan the QR code to register for the event. It's going to be so inspiring. We've got some upcoming events in the Philippines, the Pro 3 conference, a few road shows, and of course, the Global Convention. If you're building in the Philippines, make sure that your team knows about all of these and are at all the events. Now, put a heart in the comment section in the chat box if you are excited about all the products that are launching in Australia in the next 3 months. First and foremost, we have the Axio launch and the NAD launch on Saturday, the 15th of October in Sydney, along with Erin Brockovich and Dr. Libby Weaver speaking at this event. Oh my goodness, guys, I have finally sat down and watched the Erin Brockovich movie yesterday, and I cannot wait to meet this woman. She is a powerhouse. Like if you put a powerhouse on stilettos, that is who she is. So exciting. Make sure to invite your friends. We've got a group chat where we're organizing sets of 25 tickets. If you're not in that Telegram chat, please let me know. I'm organizing that so that your guests can get tickets for $16 instead of $25. It's going to be electric. Next, we have the roadshow from the 7th to the 15th of November. It's the last roadshow for Australia. So details are to be announced. And then, of course, global convention, virtually or in person. Guys, I don't know about you, but I've already started marketing Axio. I've been talking to all my customers. I've been telling them I'm going to send you samples to thank you for your loyalty. This is a great product to market because there's 30 sachets in a bag. It's light. You can put a stamp on an envelope, send it to people. That's what I'm going to do. That's how I'm going to grow my business using Axio. And NAD, well, the product just speaks for itself. So now to the actual training. I wanted to keep announcements nice and condensed so we can go through this because there is a lot to go through. So let me introduce myself to everyone. My name is Krjatian. As well as being a Pro 4 in the LifeVantage business based in Melbourne, Australia. And I've been partnered with LifeVantage for 1.5 years and a customer for 2. I am also a women's trauma healer and an author of 3 books. So I've physically written myself out of depression, and I've also published 2 books on poetry. And tonight, I wanted to do a deep dive with you all into the 3 reasons why we self-sabotage and what to do about it. So we talk a lot about mindset, and there is something so much deeper than mindset. So I want to dive deeper into this topic tonight with you. I hope you are excited, and I hope you get tremendous value from this session. So the first reason we self-sabotage is fear. And Marston Kipp wrote this epic thing where he says, perfectionism is the fear of rejection and abandonment in disguise. If you don't follow him, highly recommend his work. He's incredible. So what could these fears be? Well, it could be a fear of success. Maybe you fear that once you become successful, you will lose friends. Or maybe you fear once you become successful, people won't like you, or people will only be friends with you because you are successful. Maybe you have a fear of failure. You fail, you fear that when you fail, you will become just a nobody, that everyone will leave you and reject you. Maybe you have a fear of rejection and abandonment. It might be a fear of being seen, or being criticized and judged, or losing friends or gaining friends who are genuinely interested in you and are more interested in your status or income. Have a think about these fears, and if you feel courageous enough to share, pop it in the chat which one you feel runs the show of your life. For me personally, 7 years ago when I published my first book, I had a tremendous fear of success that I managed to work through to take baby steps towards achieving everything that I have done. Totally understand you, Andrea. Totally have a fear of success too. Rejection and perfectionist, yes, those are all very legitimate fears, ladies. So what can you do about this? Well, first of all, I want to congratulate each one of you for having fears. It just means that you're a perfectly functioning human being and not a robot. So congratulations for being human. You see, we have fears for a very specific reason. Our fears keep us safe. Just like this lion chasing this animal, like I think it's a rhinoceros, we have our fears so that we can go into fight, flight, or freeze modes. Our fears, exactly, they are survival mechanisms. And biologically, if we look back at our ancestors, they have, it's a buffalo, thank you so much. Our fears have been designed to keep us safe. When we're being chased by a lion, we shouldn't go into a freeze response. We need to fly. We need to leave as fast as possible. The thing is, everyone, in our modern society, we live with these fears for too long, so much so that they paralyze us into inaction. And we don't need to run away from lions anymore, right? So we need to somehow reframe our fears and minimize them so that they do not paralyze us anymore. So fears are great. We've established that. Now, is the fear stalling your progress or is it fueling your progress? You see, they can do one of both, or they can do both at the same time, but they can never do both at the same time. Sorry. If your fear is fueling you, that's great. If you have a fear of failure and that's pushing you towards success, that's epic, right? You're using it to go forward. But if your fear is stalling you, if your fear of failure is making you play small so that you're not seen, so that you don't speak up, then we need to dig a little bit deeper and find the root cause, heal the root cause so that you can shine and flourish and thrive. So how can we dig a bit deeper? I'm sharing a few tools with you tonight. There are so many more, but we're going to do a little deeper dive into these particular ones. First of all, we can journal, then we can meditate, we can create anchors, and we can get in the driver's seat. So let's go a bit deeper into all of these. So first of all, journaling. Drop a 1 in the comments if you love to journal. I love to journal. This is my 4th diary for the year, and I am like 3/4 of the way through. I typically go through 5 or 6 of these a year. And as well as writing about my day, things that happen, I also always check in with myself to see where I'm at, why I'm not progressing where I want to be, why I'm not getting where I want to be. Oh, I will talk about the, is it Elizabeth Gilbert's Letter to Fear? We'll get into that. Or is it the image? Is it this image? Probably. So to journal means to get to know yourself a little better. And there are specific questions you can ask yourself to get a deeper understanding into your fears. Some of these questions you can ask is, why do I fear being or becoming successful? Am I more afraid, for instance, are you more afraid of the success, or are you more afraid of what others will say? Will you become the hot topic of gossip, for instance? How do you define failure? You can ask yourself, who have I seen fail in my life, and what story has this created as a result? How do I feel about being fully seen? Do you struggle with being fully seen because in your childhood you were not allowed to be seen? You were criticized for being seen. You were criticized for speaking up. On the topic of criticism, do I criticize and judge others based on their status and success? Why? Which parts of myself am I criticizing and judging? How can I accept these parts of myself and allow them to shine brighter? You see, often the very things we criticize and judge in others, we're actually criticizing and judging within ourselves. And I'll tell you this, often that criticism and judgment isn't even yours to begin with. It could be something that you inherited from your parents, from your grandparents, from your teachers, the people you hang around with, your friends. So by journaling, you can actually get to the root issue. And if, for instance, the reason you're criticizing and judging others is because, you grew up with a very critical or judgmental mother, you can start healing that wound bit by bit and become kinder to yourself And so you won't be as critical and judgmental of others and their success or their failure or whatever. And so you'll slowly come out of your shell. I'm glad that this is helpful for everyone. So the next way that you can overcome success or minimize it, as I like to call it, is through meditation. Drop a 2 in the comments if you meditate consistently, daily, weekly. Let me know. I am an absolute advocate of meditation. I've been meditating daily for nearly 8 years now. And I'll tell you what, I could not sit still to save my life. Like if I was in a life or death situation, then like 8 years ago, I couldn't sit still for 60 seconds. So it is something that you can definitely learn. Now, there are many definitions of meditation. From my experience, I feel that meditation is not the absence of thought, but rather the absence of your attachment to the thought. Because once you let go of holding on so tightly to that thought, you no longer own it and it no longer owns you, and therefore you are free. How does this tie in with your fears? Well, it minimizes them, doesn't it? If you're about to message a friend of yours who you're really, really scared is going to reject you or go off at you or say that, you know, network marketing is a scam, if you're not attached to that story, can you see how it becomes so much easier to hit the send button? Let me know, put a 3 in the comments if that resonated. Now, meditation, like all things in life, comes with practice. If you struggle with sitting still, like I did years and years ago, start small. Put on a timer for 60 seconds. Close your eyes and just sit in stillness for 60 seconds. That's 1 minute. I'm sure we all have 1 minute in a day. Then you can bring it up to 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. 20 minutes a day. And what happens is you get that time to sit with yourself and understand yourself a little better and breathe. If sitting in silence is not very helpful for you or very hard, you can use different apps like the Calm or the Headspace app to have a guided meditation. Sharon also shared that Deepak Chopra has some excellent meditations. He does indeed. He's very big in the spiritual community. And there are also some epic guided meditations by Dr. Joe Dispenza and Tony Robbins. My recommendation is picking something and applying it daily, because you will see results once you apply it daily in your life. It's like taking your NRF1 and NRF2. You need to take them daily for at least 3 months or a month per decade of life to see the results. Apply that to any other thing that you want to achieve in your life. You need to do it daily for a month per decade of your life to see results. Now, the third thing we can do to minimize our fears is creating anchors. Now, what is an anchor? An anchor is a positive thought that keeps you on track prior to you starting the work. So, for instance, before, jumping on a presentation, before sitting down to do your work, you anchor in something positive, and that anchor keeps you rooted so that when you start the work and anything negative comes your way, you're already in a positive headspace. So how can you do this? Well, think to yourself, when was the last time I invited someone to an event and they decided to get activated? How did you feel on the receiving end? Anchor this emotion in your body. And next time you go to invite someone, make sure you're in that anchor is holding you, and you're inviting them from that excited space. And if you're new to Life Vantage, then think about any circumstance, any event that has ever happened in your life where you were so excited about something. Anchor that emotion in and start inviting people. Okay, this is, I think, the one that Sharon was mentioning before from the book, The Big Magic. And this is probably one of my favorite things that I personally do to overcome and combat my fears, is I get in the driver's seat. So this book here, Big Magic, is one of my favorite books by Elizabeth Gilbert. She wrote the bestseller Eat, Pray, Love. And in this book, she shares, in Big Magic, she shares that over the years and over writing many, many books, she has learned that fear never really goes away. And so instead of trying to get rid of fear completely, she talks with her fears. So before Elizabeth starts any project, any new book, any, new endeavor, she sits down and has a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Not full on, very serious conversation with her fears and with the fear that she has in that particular moment. And she very seriously informs fear that she's starting a project and that, Stern, thank you so much. She's starting a project and fear will want to take over and get in the driver's seat, but it can't because she is in the driver's seat. She instructs her fear very sternly to sit quietly in the back passenger seat with the seatbelt on. And the only time fear is allowed to make a peep is if Elizabeth is in direct danger. I don't know about you, but when I read this in the book, I had like a light bulb go off. I'm like, great, I'm just going to have conversations with my fear every day and get it to sit in the back seat of the car. And see how it instantly, you are leading and your fear is following. So instead of your fear leading and you following, it instantly visually shifts that dynamic to help you to keep going. So that's fear. The second reason we self-sabotage is because we, for some reason, do not feel safe in our nervous system to receive the very dreams, goals, lifestyle that we so deeply desire. You see, our nervous system is very intelligent, and it only gives to us as much as we can handle. So if on some level our nervous system feels like that having or doing more will lead to overwhelm or burnout, it will stop us. So if we view self-sabotage from this trauma-informed perspective, our body keeps a score, and our body, our nervous system, will always, its number one priority is to keep us safe. Now, I don't know who here knows much about intergenerational trauma, but it's not just about you and your childhood. It could be an event that happened to your parents, your grandparents, or even your grandparents. If that event wired their nervous system to equate success or any other fear as something dangerous, then your nervous system will do everything in its power to protect you from achieving success. Thus, your nervous system will stop and sabotage any attempt to break through. So as important it is to work on your mindset, can you see how your nervous system takes up a whole lot more space and is equally important? So drop a 3 in the comments if this is like a big light bulb moment for you. Now that we know this, what can we do about it? Well, your nervous system resides in your body, right? So it's imperative to become very aware of your body and the cues that it's giving you, and not just live in your mind. We need to get back in our bodies. That's what meditation does as well. So there's a lot of different information coming out about regulating your nervous system. The ones that I'm going to share today are shaking and dancing, deep belly breathing, and slowing down. So, dancing and shaking. All right, who here has observed what animals do after they're chased? They literally stop and just shake everything off. You see, shaking returns their nervous system into a balanced equilibrium. So if you're feeling unsafe or overwhelmed, shake your body or dance to calm your nervous system. Now, let me get a little bit scientific here so that you can understand how this works. Who here has heard that if you are very emotional, very angry, to go for a 20-minute walk to calm down? Put me in the comments if you've heard this before. The reason for this is, and this is something that I think I heard from Dr. Joe Dispenza. No, this is something I learned when I did my Psych certification. What happens is we've got a right side of the brain and left side of the brain, and we've got this connecting cord that connects them. What happens is when we're deeply emotional, we are in the right side of the brain, which processes emotions. So when we go for a walk, we utilize what is called the cross body posture. So right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. What happens is once you utilize this cross body posture, your right and your left brain are working with more synchronicity together. And so you're no longer lopsided on the one side of the brain. You have rebalanced yourself into a more logical side as well. So by shaking your body, by dancing, by walking, by moving, what you're doing is you're utilizing both sides of your brain. You're calming your nervous system down so you're no longer in fight, flight, or freeze responses. And now from this calmer state, can you see how you'll be so much better at what you're about to do? All right. Next thing about how to achieve safety in your nervous system is deep belly breathing. Okay, I don't know about you all, but I'm very, 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 very guilty of shallow breathing all day. And it is especially common if you work at a desk. Now, shallow breathing is from here. It doesn't get you a lot of oxygen into your cells, and it means that you are in a constant state of anxiety, which of course it's no good for you. So how do you activate deep belly breathing to ground yourself and help your nervous system stay calm? Well, let's all do this together. Breathe in for 5 counts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it in the depths of your belly right here for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe out for 3. 1, 2, 3. Can you see how that instantly calms you down? So do this 3 to 5 times. I had a boss who had a timer on his phone. On the hour, every hour, he would stop to breathe and drink a glass of water. So maybe that's something that you can do too, and to help you to stay calm and keep your nervous system calm. So the next way that we can calm our nervous system is by slowing down. Slow down to go further. I know this sounds like a bit of an oxymoron, but it works, trust me. So ask your body and nervous system when you slow down, is there an imminent danger or threat with accomplishing this important task? Or is this danger or threat perceived in my mind? And ask your body, what are you protecting me from? Observe in your body where you feel the tension. Then use all the other tools that we've just discussed to reframe that tension or to shake it out of your nervous system back to safety. Okay. And finally, the last reason that we self-sabotage is feeling unworthy. Drop a 4 in the comments if you have ever felt unworthy of receiving something. Yes, imposter syndrome is all the 4s. Oh, ladies, do I feel you? I feel like this is much more a female thing rather than a guy thing. Oh, we've got some guys who felt unworthy too. Excellent. So let's look deeper into this. We might look at others and for whatever reason, decide that whatever we want has already been done. And so we may feel that our story and our life isn't as special as someone else's. And so we think, why bother? Why begin? I've been there myself, right? And I'm sure we've got so many 4s here, like many of you have been there too. So let's have a look at this a little bit deeper. What can we do about feelings of unworthiness? First of all, I want to tell you, unworthiness is learned. Like all things that are learned, you can unlearn it. How exciting is that? Now, the caveat with unlearning something, as with learning something, is that it takes time, patience, perseverance, and repetition. So if it's taken you however many years to learn to be to feel unworthy, it's going to take you some time and some kindness and some patience with yourself to learn to feel worthy and deserving of something better. So how can you reframe your feelings and experiences of unworthiness? I've got 3 suggestions here. There are many more, but let's go with these 3 tonight. First of all, write your self-worth story. Start small and heal your feminine and masculine energies. So how do you write your self-worth story? Now, you are the story that you have been telling yourself for however many years that you have been alive. So if you want to unlearn the feelings and beliefs of unworthiness you have, you've got, first of all, acquaint yourself with them. Write it out. You see, when you write something down on a piece of paper, it makes it very real and you can no longer escape it. And once it's real, what is real can be shifted and changed. You see, our reality is constantly being created by us. When you know what your reality is until this day, you can actually rewrite it. Read this story out loud. Are you happy with this story? If you are, great. By all means, continue living it. You're on the right track. If you aren't, well, guess what? You can rewrite it, because who's holding the pen? You are. And be specific about what you really, 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 really want in your life. What do you want to be saying about yourself in 5 to 10 years' time? What do you want others to be saying about you in 5 to 10 years' time? I can guarantee you that this works, because I did this 7 years ago, and the life I'm living now is exactly what I had written down 7 or 8 years ago now. So this works. Give it a go. So next thing to do if you feel unworthy is start small. That way, every time you experience a newfound feeling of worthiness, you signal your nervous system that it's safe to feel this new feeling. And look, does a baby learn to run sprints from the time it's born? It doesn't. It learns to crawl and it falls down a lot. So be kind and patient with yourself. You're on the right track. All right, the last thing, and this is the final thing before we round up, is healing your feminine and masculine energies. Now, before we go into this is about males or females, it's not. It's about energies that we all have. We all have feminine and masculine energy. Masculine energy goes, feminine energy flows. Masculine energy gives and penetrates. The feminine energy opens and receives. But this is a caveat. In order to receive, we need to be open And in order to be open, we need to feel safe and worthy of receiving. And once we heal and rebalance these energies, it helps us step into our worthiness. Now, this is a whole topic that I can talk about in its own right, and there are many coaches who coach about it. But I hope that all of this information gives you a really good starting point to start with healing your fears, working through your fears, working through your self-sabotage. Let me know in the comments if this was helpful. And let me go back to that last slide for you to have a look at. The one thing I will end with is pick one of these things and commit to it daily for the next 2 weeks to 3 months. Just one thing. You don't need to do all of these things because it's too overwhelming. Pick one and commit to it. And if you need an accountability partner, just message me. Happy to keep you accountable. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being on the training. I know we ran a little bit extra, but I hope you found it helpful. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, and I'll see you all next week.